What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. Happy Monday. Hope you guys started the week in a good way. Market was volatile today. There was some movement, especially in the commodity currencies. I talk about New Zealand, Aussie, and so on, the dollar card as well. Especially, I think it was due to some commentary in the Chinese minister, maybe talking about the Chinese economy and that looking to strengthen the economy. And you saw a push to the upside on New Zealand dollar, Aussie dollar, CAD also moved, and yeah, almost all of those in there. Also, oil kind of moved quite nicely with that move. So yeah, in today was in theory the day that we would see a little bit less volatility because there was not many news. Tomorrow it starts with 20 of news, and we are looking at an interest rate decision in Australia. That's going to be an interesting one. And then on Wednesday you have CPI in the US, interest rate decision in Canada, and then on Thursday you have Swiss National Bank, and then ECB plus core PPI, and then on Friday we have GDP in the UK, and then next week we are going to have the Fed, and then the Bank of England, and if not mistaken BOG as well. At this point, looking at the Fed, which we almost guarantee that you're going to have another rate cut of 25 basis points, so that's something to pay attention to in here. So yeah, let's jump into the market. Let's take a look at what actually happened in here today. In terms of the dollar, not really much. All right, in terms of dollar, not really much. I did have these marks in here. Basically, price actually ended up reacting from them. If you followed yesterday's live stream where you do take a look at the bigger picture, trying to predict where the market's going to go or where the levels are that you're going to pay attention to, but more on a weekly basis. Today is more of a intraday, kind of trying to predict where the opportunities are for tomorrow trading session. So it's more in a lower time frame. Okay, where do we see that there are opportunities for tomorrow trading session? Not trying to find the A+ setup in here. So looking at the dollar at this point, again, we are still within this range. All right, so yesterday you mentioned that you're looking for potential price to react a little bit from this level, and price is reacting from or reacted from there. Interesting left shoulder in here, we did manage to break that level, but we do have this structure, and that's why I had this marking here, right? Basically, you have this structure that price can also react from and go, right? So basically, we are within this level, and it's this one in here. Bigger picture, we do have this break to downside, all right? You continue to break new lows in here without really managing to break any relevant high, and yes, maybe the dollar does want to continue to move a little bit more to downside. Now, we did manage to react from this structure, at least the upper edge of this level price reacted from. That was during the NFP last Friday. And at this point, again, just similar to what we mentioned last week, is that there's still the possibility that maybe the dollar does want to go closer to somewhere in here before potential continue to move to the downside. So I'll be open for that possibility. Yes, there is even the chance as well, maybe price reacting from here as well, which I could see a little bit of that reaction, but I don't really think that price is going to hold in there, just because I already have a double top in here, and eventually I would like to see actually price eventually taking the liquidity above this highs in there. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. It looks like that price now is gaining a little bit of momentum, even though there is still actually this level in here that price could end up reacting from. But yeah, this starts to be already too many touches. We did manage to break this highs as well. Maybe price does want to go higher. From here again, this is one of those situations where price is such in the middle that it can go any direction. All right, bigger picture, I can see a little bit more of maybe a bearish move. Bigger picture, even a bigger picture price, I think dollar index eventually is going to go even higher because it's running up to the upside. But for now, we may have initial move to the downside first. So that is something that I need to keep an eye on and to pay attention to. So I'll be waiting a little bit more for some direction in here. Again, in terms of the dollar, we mentioned about that part where the main cutoff is going to be on Wednesday with the CPI, and aside from that, and we have on Thursday a little bit of core PPI. But this week may be a week where dollar is not going to be as relevant, all right? Because we're going to have Australia tomorrow, then we're going to have ECB on Thursday, we are going to have Bank of Canada on Wednesday. So there are going to be many other factors moving the market this week, which may see a little bit of divergence between some dollar pairs. So yes, again, the levels they remain the same, somewhere in here, somewhere in there, maybe something here, but yeah, price can just ignore that level and go higher, to be honest. So that's one to keep an eye on. On the indices, that's an interesting one. We talked about that as well, that you're starting to look a little bit of weakness on the indices, kind of starting to go a little bit more in a horizontal move instead of just going in an uptrend. All right, it's still uptrend, all right? Price is still continuing to break highs, but now all of a sudden you start moving a little bit more like this, all right? So, and that starts to show a little bit of that weakness, and now we actually have that first initial clear break of a low in here. Price already reacted really nicely from those highs in there, so we did manage to pick out that level, and then price reacted really nicely from here, which there may be still another opportunity in here to potentially look for. But what we have at this point is exactly this move. All right, so we have a little bit of that first break of a low, clear break in here to the downside, which may start put many people into short positions, or at least to start potentially to for shorts, because the clear we see a clear high in here being broken, and this is something that I want to pay attention to. All right, now the question mark is not just about seeing a low being broken, it's also where actually that low or this new low actually is reacting from on the left side, right? Does it make sense? Is price kind of reacting straight away from a good level, or price actually broke something and there's space to even go further down? That's a little bit of what you can pay attention to. Of course, you do have this previous level as well to look for. Maybe price wants to fill all this space and go into this level and then go higher. If price starts actually even breaking below that level, then perhaps you can go all the way to retest this on in here. So that's a nice one that you can pay attention to. Another aspect is price ready to just keep respecting these highs and push the downside? We have this level, we definitely still have a little bit of this one in here, and then you can even have one last fake out of the high before pushing to the downside. So I'll be open to that possibility as well. But at this point, to be honest, this is a nice one. Let me just take a little bit more into the time frame. Yeah, basically price left this decision point left behind, and then as you can see, that high didn't really reacted from it, so it reacted in there, and I basically created a new one in here. I know it's a little bit of a compression in there, but you may do the same thing in here. Okay, you may even fake out these highs in here a little bit, and price may react from that level, even though of course there's a kind of a new supply being created in here as well. All right, so price, yes, can maybe react from here, or it can go a little bit higher, and then potentially you can even fake out that high and push to the downside as well. So there's that possibility if we even extend a little bit of this trend line. Sometimes the S&P does like to respect trend lines, so yeah, maybe basically broke it and then reacted from it already. Something that it would be nice, and to create even a little bit more of a bias or short bias in here, it would be to see kind of a new low being created in here, and then yes, then maybe price could retrace back somewhere in here and then continue to push to the downside, right? As long as actually that will break something relevant, and this actually is already break on the left side. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the S&P. I do like it. I like that price is finally showing a little bit of weakness. I didn't really manage to get that short in there today, but that was already kind of an interesting one that was created. But it's going to be something that I'll be keeping an eye on in here on the S&P. I think there's maybe a little bit of a short opportunity in here. If you're looking for longs, at this point, to be honest, I'm not really maybe the biggest fan of something in here. I would like maybe price to have a little bit of a deeper retracement before moving to the upside. But yes, maybe something around this level can still hold in here on the S&P. Something around this level maybe can still hold. We'll see if that's going to play out or not. And looking into Nasdaq, which is really nice as well. So Nasdaq already made that move. So this was actually something I think we mentioned yesterday, that the price was starting to slow down a little bit. We already saw a few lows in here being broken. This was a nice compression, and price today actually made this really nice move in here. So basically created the head in there and then pushed downside, just reacted from the lower edge of this zone in here. That's basically where price ended up reacting, like that demand zone basically became a supply, and it kind of left behind a little bit of this structure. So that's something that I'll be keeping an eye on as well. I do like that idea that maybe this one, I like the idea that maybe Nasdaq could also retrace a little bit back to the highs and then move a little bit further down, especially if you do manage to break below that low. Like we did manage to break below that one, if not mistaken, but not yet from that one. So maybe creating a new low and then kind of bouncing a little bit. I could see eventually price filling also this range in here and then potentially continue to go slightly lower, which is basically the last previous all-time high is in alignment in here. Like if you look a little bit more to the left side, that's basically where we had that that previous all-time high. That has been a target that we have been looking for, right? Since price broke that level, that we have been waiting a little bit to see that retracement. In my opinion, price basically left that space in here behind. It hasn't really got that kind of breakout setup of retrace and go. So that space stays a little bit open, but of course we do need to break a little bit below that level before even price attempts to go there. So we'll see. It will be even nice. Maybe price can create a double bottom in here, maybe go slightly higher and then kind of just as a continuation to be really great, right? As a continuation setup, perhaps create a little bit of structure in here, attempt or attract people to look for longs that are on this level, trap all of those buyers to just react into this level, which in my opinion is a potential good level to look for long in here, and then yes, and then continue like trapping all these buyers in here. So yeah, in my opinion, now it's in a better position. Like, so again, last week we did manage to break all-time highs again, but in my opinion, it was still not exactly on the right moment to potentially look a little bit for shorts. We want to see a little bit more of weakness, and I think that's maybe starting to play out a little bit. S&P a little bit more clear at this point, but Nasdaq, I do like that level as well. We can definitely fake out that structure as well in here. So yes, I'll mark one level in there, better, and then perhaps a little bit of a zone in here as well, where you can look for position on the Nasdaq. Guys, let me know as well if you do trade the indices, like what's your take and what you're looking for. Feel free to share with me and we can take a look at it together. Dow is a bit more bearish, right? Dow has been more bearish a little bit during these last few days. We could see literally kind of a bit more of this ranging horizontal shape that we look for. Already had that one being broken, price basically filling one of the first levels that we were looking for in here, and potentially we can even feel that gap that's been created at around this level. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do see a little bit more of a bearish move in here, and can even go lower, right? You can even maybe eventually feel all this level. I've not really been interested in trading at the Dow. Dow, in terms of trading myself, it's kind of a unique situation that my relationship with the Dow is only when I literally see something super clear that I'll try to trade it. Otherwise, I prefer actually to go into more S&P and Nasdaq. Yeah, at this point I'm just leaving it behind. And then you have Nasdaq, sorry, we have the DAX as well, which also is playing out quite nicely. Like we start to create outlet range, we had that fake out, price already even managed to break a little bit of that low as well, which at this point still respecting that structure. Eventually that can be a level that we can anticipate for price to fill, but definitely need to break below that level first. And pricing here just reacting a little bit from these left shoulders in there. Right now, there is definitely something in here at the highs that maybe price can still go and react from. Right, if you do check into the world time frame, you can maybe find it somewhere in here, which means that we may still fake out this this high in here and maybe actually this structure in here and have some selling pressure at above this level, somewhere around this level. Now bear in mind that it's still all-time high, so there's always a reset. Price may want to create the new all-time high before dropping, but that's definitely something to pay attention to. Somewhere around this level, I do think that maybe price may wants to go to. Again, we did even left that level as well in here, so if price does even want just to react from here, it can as well. But yeah, so we'll see. Starting to show a little bit more of weakness in here. Again, still strong, still creating new all-time highs. So bear in mind in terms of managing expectations. Wait for more lows to be broken and then eventually to look for that last push up before potentially seeing a little bit more of a retracement. And yes, potentially we can have this range in here being filled in there. All right, now looking at crypto, right? So that's an interesting one. So we have been looking for that. Curious to see how price is going to eventually react from it, from around this level again. I think this 100k is still being looked at as an important level of resistance or structure. Price reacted, in my opinion, didn't really react all the way from maybe where it could. It still kind of respected that level in there, which means that maybe if price does even manage to fake out slightly these highs, there's maybe still more selling pressure at around that level if price does go there. But again, you guys already know my prediction. I did it kind of 2 weeks ago already, what I would like to see happening on Bitcoin even before the 100k was taken, which is maybe to look a little bit more of a bearish sign, scare everyone from their positions that they are wrong, and then yes, after price maybe gets back to 80 or even to retest the previous all-time high, then you could go all the way through and sustain price above 100k. So yeah, this is kind of an interesting possibility. Again, many people looking at 100k as a target, other people looking at 100k to potentially jump into the market and try to rally the move back maybe towards 120, 150, and who knows until 200k. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see what's going to happen. I would like to see a little bit more of retracement, waiting more buy orders, and then pushing to the upside. Ethereum, really good reaction as well, so it even managed to break below that level right now. It's still respecting that high on the left side, finding a little bit of selling pressure in here. Of course, something that we can potentially anticipate is now for price to use this double top in here and fake out that level and potentially push to the downside afterwards. All right, so that potentially is set up in here for now. A good reaction. Right, it was actually good, a good reaction here. This is a good trade that was taken at around this level after price broke below this low. Basically, that's one of the typical trades that I'm looking for. Basically, price kind of opens the space into this level, right, to get into here, and yeah, we did that move, retraced, and then kind of just fill the space in there. That's kind of a basic trade that you're looking for. Now, breaking below this level, starts opening a little bit more the door a little bit more to the downside. So that's something that we'll be able to look for. Yeah, we'll see. We already even have that wall being broken, that was all being broken. Again, potentially we can even look for price to fill all this zone in here. All right, so that potentially is zone on the Ethereum that price could go all the way through. Is it going to happen? I'm not really sure. Price, of course, still needs to break some structure first. But it could be. It could be. I would actually maybe prefer to see this 4K to be broken one more time for price actually to break above those levels, and then yes, and then make a move to downside. This one already would open the door for price to go higher, but maybe before that it could come all the way down in here, and then yes, and then go all the way and continue to push higher. Again, if I was in control, I think I'll do that. It will be a great way to manipulate all these traders that are trading at around this level. Anyone that was long all the way from the election as well will be scared a little bit, and it will be a great way to come right into this position here on Ethereum. Solana, yeah, just continues to be in a range. Solana which we stalled in here, and yeah, Bitcoin as well around this level. All right, now looking at the currency indices. All right, looking at the currency indices, we are looking at Right, 1 second. So looking at the currency indices, we are looking at Euro Index, which is going to be an important asset. All right, so with ECB, this becomes an important asset to pay attention to, because if you're looking to predict what to expect from the euro dollar, then Euro Index is definitely a pair to pay attention to. And usually cycles start at around this asset, around the ECB. That's around this high, if not mistaken. It was also around some of these lows in here, and then another move. So those actually moves happen around the ECB, and we are looking at this level. Okay, so in my opinion, I think we are still bearish on the Euro Index, but as I mentioned, we could see a little bit more of a deeper retracement. Now price came all the way back into basically retest this high, and it kind of stalled in there, right? It's not really managing to move, and you have this level in here. Overall, I was still even looking for price to fake out slightly below that level before pushing higher. Yeah, which didn't really happen in here. So again, if price does go above this level, there's maybe one last zone in here, and then after that everything is compressed. All right, everything is going to be compressed above basically that level. In here, I think price can eventually go all the way, almost getting closer to those highs. Yeah, maybe just a few levels in here, but I think price breaking this level could go higher. Okay, so at this point price could eventually fake out this level and still has some kind of reaction from here. Right, so that could still be a potential zone to find some sell orders in here on the euro index. Aside from that, I think price could go. In terms of longs, yeah, this level could definitely hold price to the upside, or eventually price could fake out a little bit more. Yeah, and then we'll see what's going to happen in here. Again, we are going to be looking at it. We are going to mostly try to do a more deeper analysis on Wednesday, just the day before of the ECB. Need to wait a little bit longer, and then the end, the yen index. Sorry, there was some commentary as well, and there was some data as well in Japan overnight. It was good. Yeah, it was actually kind of okay. In Japan, actually, the Japan GDP was actually 2.4%, slightly below the expectation of 2.5. But aside from that, it was okay. And there was some maybe commentary that in January they may have kind of a speech or an approach potentially to another rate hike in the end, like in Japan. So that's going to be interesting. We saw a lot of volatility in here, no surprise. Okay, we were looking for that. We've been looking for the short opportunities in here on the yen index and longs on the individual yen pairs, and we had already that low being broken. All right, so that was an engulf to the downside. We talked about it. Price it came all the way up, break out this level, and now push downside. Now I've been waiting for price to get a little bit deeper into the zone, which have never happened, and price just continues to push lower from here, and we'll see. Right, maybe price now is reacting a little bit from that level. We can go definitely a little bit lower as well. Maybe reacting from something in here to pay attention to. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen in here, and if this yen index is ready to continue to push a little bit more to the downside. Of course, we need to pay attention now to this level that was ignored on the way down. All right, that was kind of a demand zone that price didn't really respect it and just broke it. So maybe this level can hold price a little bit more to the downside in here. That's something to bear in mind in here on the yen index. Yeah. Yeah, price now is having a little bit of reaction from this demand zone on the left side, and aside from that, yeah, we'll see. Looking at VIX, that was something that we are also looking for in regards also to the US indices. And there you go, like we had that initial move and that break to the upside as well above the structure, which may start opening the door a little bit for price to go higher, which means that the US indices most likely may go to the downside. Like we have been waiting for that move, which we looked for that last week. We mentioned that scenario that the VIX could go a little bit higher, and that could mean as well the move to downside on the indices, and it's playing out a little bit like that. You can use that correlation as well to try to see when that opportunity happens. All right, looking at the individual currency pairs, like starting with the euro dollar in here. So again, euro dollar reacted from basically the same level that we talked about on the dollar index. This is one of the last zones in here that could push price a little bit more to the upside. If prices break basically below that level, I think it starts opening the door for price to go even deeper. Perhaps maybe something from here, but I'll then look maybe for the euro dollar to go a little bit more to the downside. But yeah, overall, maybe this one can still hold price a little bit in there. Looking into all right, yeah, basically price in here just respect to the left shoulder. That's basically what happened in here, reacting from that zone, and we'll see what's going to happen next. Yeah, which we can click on that level, reacted which from this left shoulder. Yeah, just curious to see what price may do in here. Again, dollar index, euro dollar, it's quite similar to the dollar index in the sense that it's a bit in the middle. Can go both directions at this point. We managed to break above that level, which eventually can lead a little bit more to the upside, but price could actually have a deeper retracement from here after taking all these highs. Can actually move a little bit more to the downside from where it is right now. Again, bigger picture in my opinion, this is actually more of an engulf to downside as well. So yeah, in here at the highs, is there anything left? Is this where price reacted? This looks like that's where price reacted. It looks like a really nice level, and yeah, it's exactly where price reacted. Because literally a great supply, tail size never reacted from it. Yeah, that makes sense. And then there is maybe this level above. If price management wants to make one last spike in here before moving down, there's maybe that level in there. Right, that's what we have on euro dollar. Not really going to spend much time in there as well. Again, more intraday, you can see it, but I don't think price is in a perfect level to start looking for. I don't really think that I'm in a position now to look for shorts on the euro dollar from that level. I think euro dollar could actually start moving a bit more to the upside. So I'm not really going to just look for shorts. I prefer to look for longs, but closer to the lows. And it goes a little bit in the same kind of idea in here for the pound. I may start looking for shorts in here if price kind of gets closer a little bit to this level. Price is compressing. Pound, as you can see, moved a little bit more to the upside comparing with euro dollar. Even already managed to break a little bit at level. Managed to break some lows in here as well. So I'll prefer perhaps to see this pound dollar getting a little bit closer to this level. And then yes, maybe then it could have a little bit more of a deep retracement. Otherwise, price can go all the way and start challenging this level, and it can even go higher. But maybe could have one last attempt to go a little bit more to downside before making that move. We'll see if that's going to happen or not in here. But we do have a few walls in here being broken, so that's definitely something that we can pay attention to at this point. Another one that can be interesting for this week, and at this point has been just in the range, is going to be the euro pound, because on Thursday we have the ECB and then on Friday we have GDP in the UK. So there's definitely opportunities in here to see some divergence between the euro dollar and the pound dollar, which is going to create good moves on the euro pound. The euro pound has been a complete flat in these last couple of weeks. All right, basically price hasn't really moved from these lows, and I do believe that we're going to have a little bit of an opportunity. And price has been compressing for quite a long time in here. Everything has been compressed, which means that it's going to be perhaps quite quick with the move to the upside in here if prices want to go higher, right? Because it could actually first make an attempt to go lower, and then yes, and then maybe go higher. All right, again, same thing. If price actually managed to break below that level, I think it may move quite quickly closer to this low, and then you are into a new zone, a new structure in here on the euro pound, right? Potentially then price going all the way more to the downside. Maybe can retest this level first, but then eventually goes into that zone. So yeah, euro pound can be quite an interesting one. I'll be paying attention to it 100%. I'm going to have some alerts in this. It's going to be on my radar. If there is an opportunity to look for the euro pound, it's going to be exactly on this type of weeks where we have specific news for the euro, and then maybe specific weeks for the pound, and not exactly for the dollar, which actually make this move on the euro pound quite interesting. All right, because price has an opportunity to kind of move away from this range and from this kind of flat market that we have in here on euro pound, and finally we have this kind of moves that we see in here happening. So yeah, that's going to be a possibility. I would like maybe these lows to be taken one more time, all right, to make a little bit more of a new attempt just to go lower before pushing to the upside. If price starts breaking in here, I think eventually it can be quite quickly in terms of looking for that, and the target can be somewhere around this level. Aussie dollar, there you go, right? The move, and we'll see tomorrow with interest rate decision. But nice move. I've been again bearish a little bit more in here on the Aussie dollar, because in my opinion I think price could eventually go and take that low. If by any chance I was not really still looking for longs. I mentioned that I wanted to see that low being broken, but I was actually looking for shorts on the euro Aussie on Friday night, and yesterday I mentioned that as well. However, again, price moved quite kind of a 5-6 a.m. in the morning when there was that commentary from the if not mistaken, Chinese minister. And there you go, like we had this interesting move quite aggressively. This was actually could have been a great opportunity to for an entry. It was around 7 a.m. in the morning UK. Was not at the charts yet, but this was a nice one. Again, the pattern you see here as well. We start breaking some highs. You can check it a little bit more in more time frame. Like we start breaking some highs, and then you have that fake out, and then that kind of triggers into a potential long opportunity with the target kind of retesting this level, but actually going a little bit more to the upside into the next level that is still fresh. It will be somewhere in here, right? So really good setup. Again, the Aussie is still the same thing in terms of, is actually price ready to respect this low? That's a question mark. I think price could actually go higher. Could fake out the lows maybe one more time before pushing to the upside. maybe somewhere in here, maybe we can have one last push forward tomorrow with the interest rate decision. Otherwise, above that, it starts to be so compressed that price can actually skyrocket from here quite quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden price actually makes that quick move to the upside once it breaks out of the structure, because everything in here basically has been compressed already on the way down, and again, there's no better opportunity to push price quite quickly like having a big news event, right? So that's something that to bear in mind. And tomorrow or overnight, you're going to have that big news event in Australia, basically the last interest rate decision before the end of the year, which is quite relevant. But this is actually one of the last supplies in here, so we'll see if this holds or not, and it pushes price a little bit more to the downside. I wish it does, which means that it's going to give me maybe that opportunity to look for longs as price may get closer to this level, so maybe we can have that one last attempt down before price actually moving to the upside. And fingers crossed, that's what I would like to see happening. Euro Aussie, that's the one, right? So we talked about that. That was exactly what I was looking for a little bit, and it was starting to react from there Friday evening, but I didn't really want to execute any trade just before the market closed. And then tomorrow it was basically filling out that initial range, the target that we're looking for into this level, right? That's the initial range, and then the potential target, it's kind of somewhere in here with nice reaction as well from this previous level support resistance in alignment with this demand zone. Yeah, so that was a nice one. I really like this type of setups. It's kind of literally clear what I'm looking for in here, and then kind of when you have such a compression here against similar, then price is quite easily kind of passing through everything in there, and it makes this kind of move, which is really good. Now we'll see. All right, so bigger picture, we did have that break of this structure, but into a really perfect level in here. So that makes it a little bit maybe a great level for those longs, and it happened. And now we want to see price actually manage to break above this structure or not. For now, it's holding it, and we need to see that kind of level to be broken, potentially to see more upside on the Euro Aussie. Otherwise, price from here might just retest basically this structure again without really giving any direction at this point. So yeah, we'll see now. Again, if prices want to come back into here, perfect. I'll be potentially looking for that short. Again, interest rate decision tomorrow is going to of course affect also the Euro Aussie and also Pound Aussie, which found a little bit of a selling pressure in here. Again, price basically just reacting from this left shoulder all the way there into here, which is quite interesting. Prices did manage to break below that level. Yeah, using this high in here as well as a bait, as liquidity. Let's see if there's anything in here. Yeah, this is basically a little bit of the whatever's happening there. All right, so yeah, that's basically what we had. Really nice move in here as well. Basically, price not filling that level, and I'm curious to see how price may react from here. New Zealand, right? New Zealand is New Zealand made me a bit upset, but it is what it is. So we have been waiting for this move for quite a while, right? So we've been waiting for price to get a little bit closer to these lows, and then to look for the long. Like we talked about, we have this level marked for a while now, this demand zone, basically since it was created. That one never reacted from it, and then price started to react from this level. Again, still patient. Price managed to break above this high, starting to show a little bit of bullishness, and then kind of reacted like this, getting a really nice compression in here, and then overnight again, kind of price just moved to the upside, reacted perfectly from the level that I've been waiting for, and it moved, right? Again, this is what it is. It's Forex, it's 24/7, and yeah, sometimes the moves happen over the Asian session, and there's nothing else that you can do. But somewhere around here, it could have been a great level to look for a long. And as I mentioned as well, in terms of New Zealand, in my opinion, we may be getting really close to potential good turn. Again, price is reacting from a really nice level there on the left side. It starts to create too many lows in here, something I don't really like, but those lows actually have liquidity because there was some structure before that. Maybe price can retrace one more time before potential go. We did manage to break above this most recent high in there, even though it just reacted from that structure, but then we start having some other highs being broken. So again, eventually, if you do manage to break above this level one more time, then I'm looking for a target somewhere at around this level on New Zealand dollar. So that's something that I'll be tracking. Again, price at this point is still respecting this high there. So that will be something I'll be keeping an eye on. Yeah, we'll see. Nice move this morning. Aussie yen, that's another one. All right, so big turn. This was alignment with the weak. All right, so we had the weak yen plus the strong Aussie, and there you go. Right, that goes into combination of a really strong Aussie yen. So that's what we have in here. Good reaction from within the structure, right? That's exactly kind of the level that we've been looking for. The price broke that zone and now actually managed to break above here. So we'll see how price may react from around this level, if this is enough to start pushing potential price a little bit more to the upside. Again, it's going to be affected with the interest rate tomorrow. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen in here. Yeah, the other yen pairs we have again dollar yen. We talked about this one as well. Kind of had that thing go up, kind of fake out as well, and prices now end up reacting from here. We talked about these extremes, right? So basically, after you do have that level, that pattern, kind of looking for price to react from the left shoulder in here, all the way into here, right? And now price finally going all the way through. We talked about that this high didn't really close the gap in there. Basically, price is getting really close to that zone right now, but now it becomes kind of a second high being broken, which may lead into a little bit more of a deeper retracement closer to something in here. Yeah, that's a nice one. Euro yen also continue to push higher. All right, so again, one master test into this structure. A nice one that played out. We had already kind of that thing go up as well, and it could go a little bit more to the upside. Again, that level was really good. Prices turned quite quickly as well and aggressive. That's the move that we looked for it last week. We're looking for those reversals on the end pairs, and they are kind of playing out quite nicely, right? So yeah, many people may have been trapped into this level, but price broke it and then just continue. Yeah, nice little move again, and we'll see now. Price may react a little bit from this structure. I'm not really sure where price can now start retracing, if this price wants to go all the way closer to that level. Oops. On the end, same thing. All right, so we kept respecting, goes into some structure. What else? You can look a little bit at CAD yen or even Aussie CAD. CAD yen still within this range, so nothing much, but Aussie CAD as well with a good move. All right, from kind of that structure, good move into here. That you could go a little bit more to the upside, so that's something that we look for as well in here. Yeah, now I'm going to be waiting to see a little bit. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, I'm going to be looking for price to take the highs. We had that initial reaction from here. Dollar CAD is also approaching. Again, I'm still looking for the dollar CAD to get a little bit closer more into the structure, even above that level as well, and eventually start getting closer to those all-time highs in there. So a little bit more bullishness in here, and this was kind of a nice double top that was created. Definitely that I'm looking for price to break these highs in here, even though there's maybe still a zone in there that price could bounce a little bit, but that's definitely the double top that I don't want to be involved in because I think that's just to accumulate liquidity and to pick out that level. Good reaction in here is basically the level that managed to break all this structure. That is kind of a nice retracement. Eventually, of course, price could go a little bit deeper into here, but now just this was enough in here. So let it go. Let dollar CAD continue this bullish move. I don't really want to fight it at this point. So let it go and let it getting closer a little bit into this level, and then eventually even higher than that. So yeah, not really going to disturb it that much at this point. And the same goes into Euro CAD and Pound CAD. Right, I wanted to see going a little bit higher. Eventually could even target that level. Right, that's basically a big structure that we have been trading in here as well. That was a nice fake out in there. Nice reaction from those lows, and yeah, perhaps price could eventually get closer to this level one more time. We'll see how price may react from here. It's finding a little bit of some kind of resistance at around this level. So maybe if you do have something like that, yeah, maybe you can fake out, the highs, and then maybe we could have some kind of moving here. Yeah, this is a nice break of a low, even though price may just have retested straight away the next one. Yep. Yeah, let price fake out this level, and then potentially tomorrow we can have a little bit of a reaction in here. Eventually, again, because it's a euro pair, and this week we're going to start paying attention to the signals that we get from the euro pairs, because that's going to help us to predict which direction we are going to expect for the euro pairs on ECB. But before that, we have Bank of Canada announcing on Wednesday. So even before that, Bank of Canada is going to create more volatility into the euro CAD even before the ECB. So those are just a few details that we can pay attention to and start paying attention to those clues. Pound CAD as well, just continue to push higher. Again, I'm looking for price to go even higher, closer to that zone. I like that price starts to compress. It's something that eventually want to see, right? The price by any chance wants to reverse from here. We're not just expecting price to go directly there in a really strong move and then reverse in a V-shape. Like that's usually not what price does. What price does is that it's slowly is going to start showing some weakness. Just to show some compression on the way up, maybe reacting from other levels that maybe toward a little bit fresh, but until eventually targets that other level in there. Probably we are going to start seeing as well some walls being broken, which start to show a little bit of weakness in here. But again, this is just a wall that was broken, not exactly the structure itself. The structure is more of all this in here. So that price continue to push a little bit more to the upside until eventually can have some reversals. And I'm going to be looking for that. I'm going to be looking eventually for price to get closer to something in here, okay? So we have these highs in here that maybe react a little bit from that level underneath that. Is there anything a little bit above that price maybe could go, right? This was a really good reaction that price did in there. Yeah, we'll see if there's anything that price could go slightly higher than here and fake out and getting something in there, or eventually going to that zone as well. Yeah, so that's that's definitely our pound CAD. This is also kind of a nice left shoulder that price didn't really reacted from. Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how price may react from here. Let it continue to be weak a little bit. We do have now this demand zone, maybe retrace a little bit back into this level, then continue to go higher, create a little bit of a zone in here until eventually can have potential break, and then kind of finally have that move, and you can have a potential trade towards this level. So that's going to be a bit more on my radar for pound CAD. Dollar front Swiss, right? Again, yes, just in the range. Yeah, completely missed this move to downside, looking for price to retrace there. It didn't. Now we are into this structure. Maybe we can find some bullishness. Yeah, maybe it's not a level that I want to be active or looking for trades. I'm going to just skip this level. Doesn't really attract me at this point, regardless of what it's doing. Again, we're going to have also on Thursday interest rate decision, Switzerland, but yeah, not exactly anything that I'm interested. And gold finding finally some bullishness, respecting a little bit of the structure, finding a little bit of a move to the upside. So there you go. Again, we've been looking potentially for price to get into here or into there, a bit more of the extremes at this point that I was looking for. And then of course eventually can even go a little bit more higher. Yeah, that's basically what we have after breaking this low in here and reacting perfectly from this previous support resistance. And yeah, let gold get a little bit closer to the extremes and let it move away from this range where it have been trading for the last 2 weeks. Yes, we do have this supply level, basically where price is reacting from. This price does want to go all the way through again, basically fake out this level and go all the way, right? So if it wants to do that, where it do it. No, this one, yeah, silver also pushing a bit more to the upside. We don't have that engulfed down in here, so that's something to pay attention to. And yeah, set up an alert closer in here, maybe to the highs. Potentially look for some opportunities. And then oil, right? Oil also moved quite nicely. This was something that we were really looking for. Good reaction, and then price as well, like overnight, just start to push higher in here from the opening. Again, there's still the possibility that oil can even go a little bit into there, maybe fake out this level in here, but this was already a nice push. As you can see from the past, oil has been trading from around this level for quite a long time. It has been a long time since price actually managed to go below, for example, this 62.9 mark, although even from 2021. Then if you want to go even a little bit before that, it's also kind of around that zone. So again, there's maybe buying pressure at around this structure in here, and that's something that we can bear in mind and pay attention to. Yeah, again, eventually there's something in here, or eventually if prices want to break these lows and go into this level in there. That's something to an eye on. Yeah, same thing for Brent as well. Again, we do have this level. You see how price may react from here as well. Yeah, so that's basically it in terms of what we are looking for. Let me know in the comments what you guys are looking as well, if you're getting value from the stream, and subscribe if you are new. I'm getting really close to 700, so it would be great. It would be great if you could get that mark. But in terms of what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow, again, dollar is still a little bit indecision. It looks like that euro dollar at this point is pushing down, and maybe can have that that push a little bit deeper, and then try to see if we're going to have kind of a double bottom or not, and potentially move to the upside on the dollar index. On the pound as well, maybe I would like it a little bit higher, but at this point I'm not really focused on those two. I don't really think that maybe the decision or the direction is that clear. Aussie and New Zealand, that was a bit more clear to me. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to have some volatility on the Aussie due to the interest rate decision that we're going to have in there. The yen pairs, I think they can continue to go a little bit more to the upside, and the yen index to the downside. Oil is something that I'm going to be paying attention to, and US indices, I think they are approaching a good level that we can look for some shorts. Today was already one of those days, and as price gets closer to the highs again, or retraces back to the highs, depending on where the low is reacting from, I think there's maybe opportunities to continue to look for more selling pressure as price is getting closer to the highs. Dollar CAD, let it break the highs, and then you'll see what's going to happen. Gold, let it go a little bit more to the upside, and maybe then you can find some more selling pressure. That's basically it. That's basically what I'm going to be looking for in here. Oil, if it gets closer to the lows, I may be looking for longs. New Zealand, if it gets closer to the lows, I may be looking for longs. Aussie dollar, if it completely crashes and breaks the low on the left side, I may be looking for longs after that, depending on the price action. Pound euro, not really touching it at this point. Euro pound is something that I'm going to be tracking to see if there's a break to look for. Looking for longs, but I would like to see a low being taken first, and I think it's going to be good opportunities on euro pound this week. Yeah, so with that being said, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. Obrigado.